Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? And as you know, that on Saturdays we have a special program, and this is historical reflection. And in this program, we are joined by our expert, and today we are having Mrs. Meeta Joshi, who is a renowned historian from India. And as you know, that currently we are covering a topic, a very crucial and very thought-provoking topic, which is about independence and all the nitty-gritty, all those incident and all those movement we will be discussing in this historical reflection live streaming. So before I go forward, I would also want to invite all the viewers to put forward their opinion, their questions, and our expert will definitely give you and join you and explain and clarify things for you. So without wasting any further moment, I would like to invite renowned historian Mrs. Meeta Joshi from India. So let's speak to her. So, Meeta ji, how are you doing today? And it is welcome you. It is really a very pleasurable moment every Saturday when we are joined, and then you explain a few aspects of history in the historical reflection. So, welcome to this live streaming.
Namaskar, Kanchan. I am fine. How are you?
I'm fine. And, Mrs. Joshi, I always look forward on Saturdays to talk to you. And I'm sure that our viewers will also be enlightened and they will understand all nitty gritty of the independence movement, which is very crucial, especially for India. So today we are discussing a very important aspect of independence, which is rise of Gandhi. That is really, really crucial. And of course, Champaran movement. So going forward, I would like to understand, our viewers will also like to understand how you would like to actually tell us about Champaran, though it is already there in historical books. But what is your opinion about Champaran, how it actually gave rise to Gandhi movement, and from lawyer he has become to a leader? So that is a crucial topic. So over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kanchan. So, first of all, when we talk about Gandhiji, it is a very, very vast topic. So, as you said, that he became a leader from a lawyer, which is true, and this happened way back in South Africa, because in 1893 he had gone to South Africa as a lawyer for Abdullah and Company to solve some issues there, and he went there for 1 year in a 1 year contract, but he ended up staying more than a year there. And when he was personally faced with racial discrimination there, so he
Right.
decided that he has to put down his feet and fight for the Indians who were there in South Africa, and he was successful, very much successful there. In 1914, he started his journey back home to India from South Africa, and in 1915, when he landed in India, he was very much impressed by the moderate leaders like Gopal Krishna Gokhale,
Mm.
whom he also considered as his guru, and he was active in Indian National Congress. So this entire saga of Champaran movement started with the Lucknow session of Indian National Congress in 1916, where a peasant known as Rajkumar Shukla, he came to represent the Bihar indigo peasants there in the Lucknow session of Indian National Congress. And when he spoke about the peasants of Bihar there, then he told that the indigo planters had become so powerful that they had taken all the civil law in their hands, and they were like
Mm.
torturing and punishing the farmers who refused to grow indigo in Bihar. Now, let us understand that why indigo was grown in Bihar. So indigo is a was a crop. As we all know, in Hindi it is known as neel, which we use to brighten our white clothes, basically.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
in the second half of the 19th century, in Champaran, in Bihar alone, 1 lakh acre of indigo was cultivated in Champaran alone.
Okay.
Just see, in how big quantity it was cultivated in Champaran. And in 1897, when a synthetic indigo was invented in Germany, this led to a steep fall of demand of indigo in the market. Okay.
Okay.
Then came the First World War, and because of the First World War, the trade was stopped with Germany, and it renewed the demand for indigo from Bihar. So now the indigo planters, who were basically Britishers, they forced the farmers of Bihar to grow indigo, and under a very harsh colonial law, which was known as Tin Kathiya system. That means, according to that law, 3 by 20th holdings, they had to grow indigo. And if they failed to do that, then they had to pay the penalty, which was known as Sharbeshi to the factory. So,
Okay.
whether you grow or not grow, both in both cases, the peasant was suffering. So Rajkumar Shukla, he approached Indian National Congress with his resolution that he seeked help. But Tilak was not interested, because Tilak said we had a bigger goal, because we want independence from the Britishers. So this indigo thing is a small thing in that. So he declined. He said, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. So Rajkumar Shukla approached Mahatma Gandhi, and literally he fell on his feet and he said, please save the peasants of Bihar, of Champaran, from the Britishers. But
Okay.
Gandhi also, he refused politely, and he said, I won't be able to come to Champaran. But to his surprise, when he reached his ashram in Ahmedabad, he found Rajkumar Shukla there,
Okay.
because he was not seeing any hope other than Mahatma Gandhi.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not only Rajkumar Shukla who was pursuing Mahatma Gandhi. There was another person named Peer Muhammad Muniz, who was a correspondent with Pratap. It was a Hindi daily which was published from Kanpur, and it was published by a freedom fighter, a nationalist, Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi. So Muniz, now and then, he wrote about the plight of the indigo planters in his column in this daily Pratap. And he also was after Mahatma Gandhi that you please come to Champaran once and see the condition of the peasants there. So, very unwillingly, Mahatma Gandhi agreed, because these two people were not leaving, their what
Maybe the
word shall
current
I use? That
scenario.
they were
The current
after,
scenario.
they were
Yes.
after Gandhi. They were pursuing Gandhi to come to Champaran.
Yes.
So Gandhiji, he agreed very reluctantly, and he reached Motihari, which is a town in Champaran. So two towns, of Champaran, Motihari and Betia. These two were the workplaces from where Mahatma Gandhi initiated this Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. And
Okay.
when he reached there, the commissioner was the British commissioner was uncomfortable, and he asked Gandhi to go back. He said, please don't stay here in Champaran, and you please go back from wherever you came. But Gandhi refused. Gandhi refused. He said, no, I will not leave. And if you want, you can arrest me, because I'm not going to leave the farmers. Because when I came here, now I'm realizing that they really are in pain because of the tin kathia system, number one, and number two, the this penalty which was implied on the farmers if they don't grow indigo, sharabeshi. So
Okay.
Gandhi was very firm, and when Gandhi refused to leave Champaran, that time Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Annie Besant, they both were very surprised, because when they both were running this home rule movement, and whenever the Britishers said something, so they obeyed. But here, it was Gandhi's first civil disobedience, we can say, that he refused
Okay.
to leave Champaran. He refused.
Okay.
He said, I will
Okay.
not go. And then, after much persuasion, he he convinced the commissioner that let me be here and let me talk to the peasants, and then the government has to do something for the peasants. So it was his efforts, Mahatma Gandhi's effort, that a committee was set up. An agrarian committee was set up in Champaran to look into the affairs of these ryots or peasants who were growing indigo.
Okay.
And this was was a start in April, because he reached Motihari on 15th April, and slowly, April, then May, and then he was joined by other people like Rajendra Prasad, who was very active in bar, and our first president of India also later.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he was also joined, apart from Rajendra Prasad, by Brij Kishore, Mahadev Desai,
Okay.
Narhari Parak, and JB Kriplani. So now he has
Okay.
a team. He has a team, and this
Right.
team, they went from dusk to dawn, and they interviewed many farmers, and they recorded and documented everything.
Okay.
And by the end of May, Gandhi had collected almost 7,000 testimonies of the
Okay.
farmers, that how
Okay.
much they were tortured and how much they were forced to grow indigo. They were
Okay.
not allowed to grow the crop which they wanted to grow because of this tin kathia system. Okay,
Right.
so Gandhiji, he collected the data. He had almost 7,000 testimonies with him, and in early June he traveled to Bihar's summer capital. That time it was Ranchi, to place them before the lieutenant governor of the state.
Okay.
Okay, and the evidence, because it was all documented, so it was very overwhelming. So on
Right.
10th June, a Champaran Agrarian Inquiry Committee was appointed by the Bihar government. Gandhi
Okay.
was a member, as were four British officers of Indian civil service. So a
Okay.
very elaborate inquiry was done after, and they even called the peasants to represent and for question and answers in front of the committee. And after a very elaborate, research, and meeting the peasants and talking to the officials, talking to the indigo planters, like each and every one was reviewed in it.
Right.
And after all that, the inquiry gave a positive uh, uh, report in the favor of the indigo peasants or the
Okay. Okay.
farmers.
Okay.
And then it was decided that the tin kathia system, which Gandhiji earlier also um, he requested that it should be abolished, the tin kathiya system, and
Mm.
the sarabeshi, the penalty, also should be abolished, because he
Okay.
started with these 2 points. So the commission, it submitted its report on 3rd October 1917,
Mhm.
and it was in favor of the peasants, the
Mhm.
peasants of Champaran. And it
Okay.
was all the efforts initially of Rajkumar Shukla and Pir Muhammad Muniz, and later Gandhiji and his team,
Mm.
which consisted so many people, including
Mm.
Rajendra Prasad and
Mm.
J.B. Kriplani, then
Mhm.
Narhari Desai. All people, they
Mm.
joined hands with Gandhiji
Mm.
in this Champaran Satyagraha. And why it
Okay.
is Satyagraha? Because it was a non-violent one again. Because
Okay.
Gandhi's life, he had this principles, two principles: truth and non-violence,
Mm.
Satya or Ahimsa, and he
Mm.
actually practiced them.
Mm.
That's why, if we when we will see the future movements which
Mm.
involved Gandhiji as a leader, so
Mm.
he was not very successful, because every time he gave up the movement because
Mm.
of any violence which broke out in country, because he was
Mm.
against violence totally. But
Mm.
this one, the
Mm.
Champaran Satyagraha, after that, in continuity, two more satyagrahas he joined. One was Ahmedabad Satyagraha and Kheda Satyagraha. And these
Mhm.
they were, as he said, that they were the three experiments in Satyagraha which Mahatma Gandhi did. So his first Satyagraha in India had been a success, and so great that after he had left the area, and
Mm.
still people, like, his name was everywhere
Mm.
in Champaran. So when a
Right.
British officer, he visited Champaran after many months, so he was
Mm.
surprised to see that
Mm.
everyone was talking about Gandhi and his Satyagraha. So this is
Okay.
how the
Mm.
Champaran Satyagraha was taken forward by the efforts of Rajkumar Shukla and Pir Muhammad Muniz, and
Mm.
it came to a successful end, because the committee gave the report in favor of the peasants, and
Mm.
even they were given compensation. The
Mm.
farmers were given
Mm.
compensation, which was not very great, but as they say, something is better than nothing, because 25% they gave the compensation. So at least they got something, the farmers.
Right.
So it
Right.
was a victory of
Mm.
not only Mahatma Gandhi as a
Mm.
satyagrahi, but
Mm.
all the farmers, because 7,000
Mm.
plus
Mm.
testimonies he collected over a period
Mm.
from April till June. April,
Okay.
May, June. 3 months he collected so many testimonies, documented them, and he
Mm.
gave it to the inquiry committee. And in October 1917, the report came out in favor of the peasants.
Okay, so that was definitely a great success, and then we have leaders who have initiated and took it to the success result. But here, I just want to know, it's a great victory, definitely. But what would have been the impact of other peasant around the country? That this satyagraha has any impact on that, and any regulation or anything, any soft corner which is being created by these leader, not only for Champaran but rest of the country, or what are the effect about on the farmers and the peasant, when we talk about Champaran at that point of time, on the peasant of India?
Definitely, it had a ripple effect on the entire country, the Champaran movement, and that's why the second the second work which Gandhiji took up was the workers of Ahmedabad. Okay, and the third was the Kheda Satyagraha. So it was the success of Champaran movement, which actually motivated people to approach Mahatma Gandhi for help for different reasons. So it definitely had a very major impact not only in Bihar but other parts of the country as well. The peasants were very much motivated by the Champaran Satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi ji.
Okay, so now because that is a major, as we have discussed, it's a major milestone in the life of
Yes.
Mahatma Gandhi. So he was a lawyer, then he has struggled in South Africa, then he came back and he established himself as a leader by watching the all atrocities which is being done to Indians in India, in their own country. So. When we talk about Mahatma Gandhi, because that is a major event in his life, and that definitely has contributed to become Mahatma as we know him, the kind of Satyagraha, as you mentioned, the two philosophy, truth and non-violence, which is a major, even today, whole world, they look forward towards Mahatma Gandhi, and sometimes many people is kind of mesmerized that how can anybody can get independence or kind of Satyagraha or revolution or revolt only without non-violent and maybe persuasion. So how it actually contributed in the growth of Mahatma Gandhi, this actually Satyagraha, and that is a milestone as you have mentioned. So from a professional, from a lawyer, and becoming a great leader of the world.
Yes, it was definitely a milestone in his journey as a leader and as an activist also. Uh, See, already he had become a leader in South Africa by fighting for the rights of the Indians there in South Africa. So he already had made his mark as a leader. But when he came to India and he started he joined this Champaran Satyagraha, and after Champaran, the Ahmedabad Andolan, and then the Kheda Satyagraha. So these are definitely the milestones which shaped his political career.
Mm,
He grew up as an individual. He understood the problems which the Indians faced in the rural areas and the urban areas, by sitting with them, by interacting with them. He walked miles and miles. Because, see, today, Kanchan, since it is 6th April, I must tell you that today is the day when he completed his Dandi March in 1930. 6th
oh,
April
okay.
1930, he completed his Dandi March, which he
Mhm,
did to break the salt law.
mhm,
Okay, so that way if we now, from now on, when we see the Indian history, it is known as Gandhian era till
mm,
1947 AD, because
mm,
he has overshadowed all the leaders, and
mm,
only with two of his tools, they were truth and non-violence. Only
mm,
two tools he used,
mm,
and which is a very
mm,
very
mm,
commendable thing, because as individuals and as human beings, you and me, we get agitated by little
right,
little things in life, and
right.
we do get, as human beings, sometimes violent thoughts, and
Mm,
we sometimes show violence in our behavior also. But
right.
for a person who lived his entire life on based on these two principles, is
Mm,
really really commendable. And
mm,
because when he came to India after South Africa, he was already 45 years of age. He was a middle aged
mm,
man. And
mm,
if you see, if you talk about his personality, he had a very timid personality.
mm,
So only by his efforts, by his uh, by the purity of his character, he was able to reach a point where today we call him the father of the nation. And not only in India, you go to
Mm.
any part of the world, you will find a Gandhi statue. Okay,
Correct.
you will
Mm.
find many scholars who are still
Mm.
doing their research on Mahatma Gandhi. So
Correct.
that means that person, that personality was something.
Right.
And if you allow me, I will read few lines
Sure, sure.
about
Please
him,
go
which
ahead.
Albert Einstein wrote about him in
Mm.
1944. So Albert
Yeah.
Einstein wrote about him: a leader of his people, unsupported
Mm.
by any outward authority, a
Mm.
politician whose success rests not upon craft nor the mastery of technical devices, but simply
Mm.
on the convincing power of his personality, a victorious fighter who has
Mm.
always scorned the use of force, a man of
Mm.
wisdom and humility, armed with
Mm.
resolve and inflexible consistency, who has
Mm.
devoted all his strength to the uplifting of his people and the betterment
Mm.
of their lot. A man who has confronted the
Mm.
brutality of Europe with the
Mm.
dignity of the simple human being, and thus at all times rises superior. Generations to come, it may
Mm.
be, will scarce believe that that such a one as this ever in flesh and blood
Mm.
walked upon this earth. So
Very true.
Albert
Very true.
Einstein,
Correct.
yeah, so
Mm.
Albert Einstein wrote about Mahatma Gandhi in 1944. So can you
Okay.
see his impact? It was like worldwide.
Right.
Worldwide, you go to
Mm-hmm.
South Africa, you go to Europe, you go to America, you name a country, and you will
Mm.
find Mahatma Gandhi's followers, you will
Mm.
find Mahatma Gandhi's statues there, you will
Mm.
find many scholars discussing about his work,
Mm.
doing researches after so many years.
Mm.
Today we are living in 2024, but
Mm.
still his ideology, his thoughts are
Mm.
still relevant because, as he
Correct.
said, Satya and Ahimsa,
Right.
truth and non-violence. So
Mm.
if we really follow his, principles, I think world will be a better place
Correct.
than it
Yes,
is
and
today.
yes, definitely. And he's Mahatma. I think this is he has already earned this title for himself. But at the same time, I really feel that he was a man with grit and valor, because you cannot show valor only on the borders of the country, but actually having these kind of persuasion, and when people follow the ideology, that makes that person great in their own terms. And Mahatma, when we talk about Mahatma Gandhi, he is way ahead. Even today, as you have just said, that it is his teaching is still relevant. Only one bet is that you should follow that and should incorporate those ideas, not full, but maybe something that will. As you have mentioned, the world will be much better place to live. So as usual,
See,
yes.
Kanchan, as an individual, I differ with Gandhiji on many issues because, as a history student, I differ
Right.
with him on many issues. But overall, if
Hmm.
you see, so he was
Hmm.
a great personality, no doubt. No doubt.
Sure. Yes. So, as usual, we have discussed the great Mahatma today. We have discussed the Champaran. We will be meeting again. I will carry forward this discussion next Saturday. So, any last thought you want to add?
I just want to say that as we uh, read the history and we learn from it, that truth and non-violence both are very powerful tools.
Correct.
So
Hmm.
if we take 0.1% of it in our
Sure.
lives, So things would change in a bigger way in this world.
Yes. So, with this note, I would like to end this beautiful, this thought-provoking discussion, and we'll be meeting again. So, going forward, I would like to ask my viewers to put forward their ideas, their comments, and if they want to ask or any clarification they want to have regarding Champaran, and of course, the beginning of the career and the independence, how Mahatma Gandhi has contributed. Anything which they don't know, please go ahead and ask. Our expert will definitely will give you answer. So, see you all next Saturday. Till then, have a great weekend. See you. Bye bye.